Hello everybody, Mike Arnold here, co-founder of Pat Trading Partners along with Bob Iacchino. Explosive move in Bitcoin to the upside, blowing through all the levels, so I just took them off and I've reset the major levels now to the upside. Be somewhat careful in chasing these explosive moves. Sometimes we've seen them be really pump and dumps, so it's returned to a 25% breakout level now, rotating back up. It spiked the RSI off the charts. A lot of times when we've seen this, it's introduced some more selling, so a big explosive order in thin markets, and then some selling comes in, which is the real move. So just watch. Next level that we'll be watching for is about 4,650 to 4,600 on a return. If we drop below that, the 50% retracement of this whole big move would take us to 4,434 with the rising rotation zone on the 4-hour. Now, if it does hold here and rotate back up strongly, about 49.40 is the first area of resistance, then 51.06, the spike high with this big run up. And the next major levels, we then have a cluster at 52.75 to 5,300. I'll show you where we got the 5,300 off the weekly chart. And then the 54.43. So those are your key levels. Switching over to daily. You can see how those levels play out on the daily, ripped away from the rotation zone now, so that's very significant. So we're just going to have to see if this is sustainable or if it drops back to one of these key levels. Now, if this does fail, the major support comes in just above this 42.65 at about a 4,300 area. We see it was resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, and some resistance right over here. So that would be, if it returned to the breakout level, that would be turned into the key support area if this does collapse back down. Let's switch over to that weekly chart and put this whole thing in perspective, because it's always good to keep the whole thing in perspective. So here's your weekly chart. Here was the whole big down move from 19,891 to the most recent lows at 32.15, and this hasn't even retraced to the 12.5% retracement of the whole move. And you still have major resistance just higher than this. So this looks like an explosive move based off the shorter time frames, but it's just getting it back to the 12.5% resistance level, and that's where we got that area for the cluster. You also have the 50-week declining moving average coming in at that key area. So we're on a strong rotation up. We're really going to pay attention to that 5,300 area. Switching over to Ethereum, you can see it blew through all our levels. First, it came up to our top level here of 156.61, dropping back down. At that point, just so you know, you can always take things. You can always just move them. I already adjusted some of this, but you can always move it. So then the next thing you'd be watching for 162.44, which would spike through again, but that's with the candle body's major resistance. Then you can take it up. What we're going to do is I'm actually going to just redraw these levels at this point and get the most recent ones. And this is off the 60-minute chart. Let me switch over to 4-hour chart to get the most recent of the up move. So high also came into a significant area off the longer term charts, the prior GAN level, so I'll show you that also. Let's just do it off the most recent move for now. So taking these lows before the breakout, we can come up and see where we're standing. So back above this 164 level, we'd be watching for 167.35, then a major cluster at 170 spot on. Now we're holding just above the 12.5% retracement from this little move up. If that does not hold, I'd really be watching for first return to 158, and if that doesn't hold, then key would be 155.76 with the rising rotation zone. If this does drop all the way back down, then the next key area would be 150. Switch back to that 1-hour chart for a second. This is a sloppy double top. So if we did trade back below this 155.76, I'd be definitely watching for a bigger retracement down. It also, you see on this 1 hour chart, we made a higher high, but a much lower high in the RSI. So we had a significant divergence in here, which means it could be running out of momentum. So really watch that key level of 155.76 if we drop below it. There's no guarantee we will, because again, you could have made multiple divergences. That's why we'll also be watching if it does rotate back up above the 164.48. Watch for the 167.35 and then the 170. Let's switch over to the daily chart. So here's that daily chart. Daily chart, if it were to drop back down, the key area we'd be watching for is this 147 cluster area. That would be key based off the daily. And let me switch over to the weekly. And let's get this on a scale. Oh, maybe it switches off the daily. I'll have to look over there. Actually, let me remove this too. Clean up some of this. Sorry about that. Let me switch back to the daily. So that other key area was this spike high. That's where it was from, the spike high from back on the 24th of February. That forms the cluster with the new most recent push up. So that 170 level on a push up is going to be very key. So we have for you on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we'll talk to everyone soon. Bye for now.